What's going on, everybody? It is TripleCrown24 back today with a new COMC update video. Today's video will be recapping the month of February 2023, show you what I ended up doing this past month, and look ahead to what is coming in March, as we're already nearing the end of quarter one 2023. That's kind of weird. It feels like this year is just starting, but here we are. It's March now when you're seeing this. So I am recording this here on the last day of February, so hopefully some more sales will trickle in here later tonight to end the month on a high note, I should say. But as you'll see here, my store credit is just slightly lower than last time. And the question might come to mind, well, Triple Crown, what's going on with that? Did a lot of things get processed? Did you spend a lot of money on other cards? It was a little bit of everything, I would say. The biggest thing that I did was I actually paid myself for the first time. I did cash out part of my bankroll here, and really that is the ultimate goal. Look, I want to get this number, of course, as high as I possibly can. I want to be able to make money using COMC to sell the cards that I used to sell in my eBay store, and also to sell the cards that I am buying directly on the site. But eventually, I would like to also use some of the profits that I get from that. So I did end up drawing some funds out, and really I think that will be my goal going forward. This isn't like a set challenge that I have where it's going to be a start and end date. I do love seeing some of the COMC challenge videos that other content creators have done, but this is a part of my business. So it doesn't really have a definitive start point and end point. I just plan on making some withdrawals every now and then. Now, you might ask, how do I determine what I want to withdraw and what I don't? Really, I don't want to take too much of my bankroll. One of my key rules is going to be I want to have at least enough funds to cover all the outstanding processing fees that I should expect to incur over the next month. So in this case here, you see $554 right now available. I have approximately 938 cards on this batch that is going to be due in the middle of March, which is roughly $470, give or take a couple. So I want to make sure I at least have that. And then I also want to have some money to play with, just in the event that I see a port sale I want to go after, and also because, well, I need to be able to keep buying inventory. So I don't really expect myself to do a cash out in March, probably looking at another one in April once I get this larger submission processed. But I gotta say, it did feel like my work was paying off to make that withdrawal the first time. Yes, I am going to lose 10% of whatever that number is, plus a $1 processing fee anytime that I do a withdrawal from the site. But to me, it's still better than a lot of the eBay fees I'm paying, which were like 13% at the time. And I really just don't mind it in general, because I'm not having to put in as much effort, as much work. So even if the processing fees overall, once you factor in everything, are just a little bit more, to me, I'm willing to pay that little bit more to have to do less work and be able to use more of my time for the things that are important to me, both hobby related and non-hobby related. So I just wanted to put that out there in case anyone was curious about that. I know this was a bit of a longer intro, but I don't have too much to show in terms of the cards. I'll show you real quickly what my numbers look like for the month of February. They are down from January. I did sell more cards, but a lot of them were the e-pack cards, and I don't really have anything that I could attribute this to. Just sales weren't as good as they were in January, so it is what it is. I'm expecting March to be a bit better. I'm going to aim for my March to be the best month yet in terms of both number of cards sold and my total sales, just because I'm going to have, nearly 1,000 cards of my own getting uploaded to the site. So hopefully that will provide a bit of a spark and really continue to scale up my COMC account. So here we see my purchase history, or my sales history, I should say. Let me go ahead and show you some of the better sales this month. I did end up moving my Charlotte Flair gold prism. I sent this to auction. I just kind of wanted to play around with it after how well I had done with the Randy Moss card and how that process went. So I went for it. As you can see here, pretty much broke even. But this card ended up going to a good friend of mine, so it worked out at the end of the day. I told him, hey, you got a good price on this, and I'm glad you did. I thought it was a good price because, I mean, you can see what I paid for it here. But overall, I'm happy with that number. It gives me extra $150 to play with in my account. Here's a Bill Terry rookie. I saw this card. I'm actually going to pull up a picture of it. You can see it is definitely a 1. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's not an authentic. Maybe it would have been an authentic if it were sent in today, but it's in rough shape. And I was kind of hesitant, but it seemed really, really cheap for this card. So I went ahead and grabbed it. I thought, can you really go wrong getting a Bill Terry rookie? Probably not, because within 2 days, sold on eBay. So it went from 44 up to 75.05. Definitely a solid return there on only a 2-day hold time. Here's one that I held for about 2 months. Aaron Rodgers gold refractor from Finest from 1875 up to 3210. Don't just stand there. Buster Posey 850 up to 1876. Relic card from National Treasures number to 5. I mean, any Posey number to 5 under $10, you got to go for it, right? Here's a card that I picked up out of a dollar box, probably one of my better dollar box finds. I think it was the 2019 National, actually, that I found this, because they had a bunch of these cards in there, these VIP cards. I guess the dealers got a bunch of the packs and they just tossed a bunch of them in there. So I have this Luka. So $1 plus processing and shipping, up to $15.96, not too bad. Here's a Jamal Charles early 5-star here. I do miss the old format for 5-star, back when it was like one of the really high-end products out there. Now it's just kind of like one of those run-of-the-mill, it almost feels like, releases with tops. It's crazy how times have changed. But up from 5 to $15.95 there. Larry Walker, Finest flashbacks, from $10.78 up to $14.96. Not crazy, but again, adding a couple dollars there. This one did take a bit longer though, a little over 4-month hold time. Here's one that I actually lost on, again, this Evan Mobley. I mentioned the Scotty Barnes Ice in the last video and how that port I had not done too well with. I'm still seeing that now, and as more and more of these cards hit this site, I'm definitely regretting that decision a bit more to make a purchase on this port, but it's a sunk cost at this point. Lesson learned, and I'm not taking a huge loss here. As you can see, I'm only losing $1.50 on this card. Prefer definitely not to take a loss, but hey, it's gonna happen. Nobody bats 1,000. Here is a Nolan Ryan up from $850 to $1235. I hear a lot of people say they don't have too much luck selling slabbed cards on COMC. I've noticed that a lot of mine have been to cart buyers, or they have been to eBay buyers. In terms of user-to-user sales on these types of cards on their website, definitely haven't had as much luck with that, but I do sell the slabs fairly well, so perhaps I've had the exception to the rule. We'll see. A couple more here, again, really par for the course. Shout out to Miko on the Screw Bledsoe here. But you see just a lot of stuff that I took and tried to double up my money on. A few things that I was able to submit on my own. You can see there, if this column is blank, then it means it's something that I sent in on my own. Something I will note here is that I did send in this Max Muncy Finest card, and this product didn't release all that long ago, so you might wonder how I got that uploaded to the site so fast. Well, it was because I tried out that Fresh Pulls promotion. I kind of briefly mentioned it in the last video, but I sent in 105 cards that were basically going to be processed as select, but I get a discount for them at standard pricing, so it's 50 cents a card, and it's a 2-week turnaround time to get them uploaded rather than a 16-week, which of course, I mean, who isn't going to do that, right? What I found with that is that the cards got a lot more condition notes, and I'm pretty good at looking over the cards before I send them in and try to avoid sending in newer cards that I think will get condition notes unless I just feel that it is inherently worth it to send them in. But that didn't seem to really stop it this time. I probably had like, I want to say a dozen cards or so that ended up with excellent to near mint qualifiers. I even had one that was a good to very good excellent, which kind of unusual, but hey, I could have very well missed something as well. But on top of that too, I had a lot of mistakes within the cards being uploaded to the site. And by mistakes, I mean it was the wrong player or the wrong set or the wrong parallel. And it was very strange for me. I don't know if it was because they were on a time crunch or they're newer sets and people aren't familiar with them yet, but about 10% of my order, which was, I mean, only 10 cards, but still 10% of that order had inaccurate descriptions for whatever reason. Maybe it was multiple reasons that I had to send in correction requests for before I could upload those cards to the site. Whereas in the previous 1,000 cards I had submitted, I might have only had 3 or 4 overall, so a much higher error rate, as you can tell, 0.3 to 0.4% up to 10%. Significant difference there. I don't know if I would do the fresh pulls promotion again. I'm really not opening all that much product. Doing the case breaks and utilizing COMC to sell the singles doesn't necessarily work out where I can profit from those case breaks unless I just hit extremely well, which is why I haven't been doing them anymore. But there's different ways that I can kind of handle that. So that's kind of why, if you've ever wondered why I'm not opening cases anymore, it's because I've changed the business model and it just doesn't work with what I'm doing now. Last thing I'm going to show you guys today before we call it quits is the sales by batch feature here. So really I'm just going to focus on these first 4 that you see on your screen, because these are all the ones that I personally have sent in since I returned to the platform. I think that this is a good barometer for me to kind of analyze what I am sending into COMC, checking my sell-through rates on those cards, and also making sure that I am sending in stuff that is going to justify the processing fees. So for example here, these 2 500 card submissions are going to cost me $250 to send in. As you can see, I'm in the money on both of them about 2 months in, which is a good turnaround time for me to be able to get back to even and now be able to make a profit on everything else that is left. You can see I've sold through 20 to 25% of my inventory here on these 2 batches, which for 2 months I would say is pretty solid. It's definitely much higher than my eBay sell-through rate, I would say, or at least kind of from my perception of that. So overall, I'm really happy with that. You can still see I do have a lot of value left relative to what I paid to send them in for processing. And I'm not trying to hit a home run on every card. There might be cards where I'm paying 50 cents to get it processed and I'm only netting 95 cents COMC credit. But for me, it's passive income. And I mean, that 45% profit margin is something I didn't have to put too much work into. So again, I will gladly take that. This is not my primary source of income. This is just mainly to supplement what I'm doing with the larger cards on my own time and getting these residual income, or residuals I should say, from the cards that I used to sell via standard envelope over on eBay. Here's my fresh pulls one here. You can see completely processed. I've sold 38 of 105 cards, so what is that? Probably 35 to 40% sell-through rate in less than a month's time. Pretty solid there. For something that is all newer cards, that's probably a little bit lower than what I had hoped for, but again, I doubled my money on the processing fees of this. This was $52.50 to process, so at least I'm not losing money on that. What this basically tells me overall is to keep sending in what I'm sending, because I'm satisfied with these numbers. Maybe this one is the only one that I'm kind of like, yeah, you know, maybe not. We'll see. And then of course we have this one here. This is the one that is just starting to be processed. That monster 950 card order, only 14 cards out of it, but I have made a sale already on those, so we'll see how that one goes. We'll definitely have more information for you on that one once we roll around for the April 2023 installment of this video. So that is it for me today. Thank you all so much for checking out today's COMC update video. Be sure to see you next time. Take care, stay safe, be kind.